We're taking you live now to the Prime Minister Anthony Albanese. He's speaking alongside state premiers after National Cabinet.
Have a safe and affordable place to call home is to boost housing supply. That's why National Cabinet has agreed to an ambitious new national target to build 1.2 million new well-located homes over 5 years from the 1st of July 2024. This is an additional 200,000 new homes above the National Housing Accord target agreed by states and territories last year. The Commonwealth is committed to $3 billion for performance-based funding, the new home bonus for states and territories that achieve more than their share of the 1 million well-located home target under the National Housing Accord. This will incentivise states and territories to undertake the reforms which are necessary to boost housing supply and increase housing affordability. This ambitious target will be supported by the Housing Support Program, a $500 million competitive funding program for local and state governments to kick-start housing supply in well-located areas for that last mile, as it's spoken about, work that is sometimes needed, connecting to sewerage, connecting to water, connecting to energy supplies. In short, upfront money to get housing moving quickly. National Cabinet also agreed to a national planning reform blueprint that we will distribute with planning, zoning, land release and other measures to improve housing supply and affordability. The blueprint includes updating state, regional and local strategic plans to reflect housing supply targets, promoting medium and high density housing in well-located areas close to existing public transport connections, amenities and employment, and streamlining approval pathways. First Ministers also agreed on further significant measures to boost housing supply and better coordinate Australia's migration settings, including endorsing initial state and territory implementation plans under the Social Housing Accelerator that we announced in June, developing a principles-based multi-year planning model for migration to improve collaboration with states and territories on migration settings, aimed at allowing states and territories to deal with skills shortages which are there. National Cabinet has agreed to a better deal for renters to harmonise and strengthen renters' rights across Australia. This includes developing a nationally consistent policy to implement a requirement for genuine reasonable grounds for eviction, moving towards limiting rent increases to once a year, phasing in minimal rental standards. These changes will make a tangible impact for the almost 1/3 of Australians who rent. On health reform, First Ministers discussed health reform, which remains a top priority for the National Cabinet in 2023. And at our next meeting that will be held in November, that will be solely focused on national health reform, and states and territories will meet beforehand and work with all First Ministers and the officials from our state and territory jurisdictions, along with the Commonwealth, to develop further reform. They're committed to addressing the pressures facing the health system to deliver a patient-centred and sustainable Australian healthcare system that provides the best outcomes for our community. A dedicated health meeting will be held in November. This will distribute the record of the meeting, the press conference, the press release, but also will deliver the details that have been agreed to in the National Planning Reform Blueprint, but also the renters' rights issues.